morning. Oh, my phone, there it goes. Okay, if anyone decides to listen along, I have linked the playlist underneath this live video in our Facebook group and also under my post yesterday in our Facebook group. So you are welcome to find that there if you'd like. Okay. Let's start it in just a minute or two. Give everyone a moment to get logged in and settle in. We are going to start this morning in easy seat, so cross-legged. So once you are all settled in, then you have everything you need. You can meet me right here. Turn off the heater. A little cold down here in the basement. I have the heater going. Give it just another moment, and then we'll get started. But welcome to everyone who's here, and as you're logging on, my name's Erica. I'll be guiding you through your weekly flow. I hope you guys are cool with me, just kind of taking the liberty to slow things down a little bit this week. This is how we started our practice, over a year ago when we brought virtual yoga into the mix with Carbone. We started with a nice slow kind of active recovery flow, and after a while we kind of kicked it up. But I was hoping today we could just bring it down a little. I usually don't feel the need to bring things down. I usually like to kind of crank it up, but I don't know about you. It's been a busy week. We've been working out hard in the gym. And if someone doesn't force me to slow down, I usually don't. So I'm kind of making a conscious decision to force myself, and hopefully that will serve some of you as well. So slowing it down a little bit today. And we're going to get started in just a moment. So we're starting today in easy seat, nice and tall through the spine, doesn't matter which leg's in front. If you have blocks that you need, or props, or water, or music, or anything, go ahead and make sure you have everything you need close by. I'm going to take one more sip of my tea, and then we're going to get moving. Okay. Start the music here. All right. So if you're not there already, please join me in easy seat, cross-legged. Doesn't matter if the palms are facing up or down. It's believed that if you're looking to receive a little energy, have them facing up. Maybe you've had a busy morning and you've been rushing and you need to ground yourself a little bit. You can face the palms down. Whatever feels good for you. Some people like to rest them at prayer heart center. Again, whatever feels right is exactly what you should be doing. And taking just a little bit of time out of our day to slow down, to find some calm, to find some peace, to find our center. We live in a society that values the hustle, and we're constantly on the go and rushing from here to there. So important that we take a little bit of time to just slow down and to just be. So that's my goal for all of us, myself included, today, because God knows I need it as well. And let's just take a couple rounds of box breath here. We've done this before, but it's been a little while. On a box breath, we're going to follow a 4-count pattern. So you'll inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, hold it for 4. So I'll talk you through it, and then we'll go through a couple of rounds. So start with a nice deep inhale, fill all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, slow exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it once more for 1, 2, 3, 4. And I invite you just to take a couple of rounds of breath in this 4-count pattern. And close your eyes if that feels okay for you. I'm joining you in this breath pattern. Make sure when you're exhaling, you're releasing everything. Let's take one more round. And this is a breath pattern you could come back to at any time, just to help you feel a little calm. Obviously, the longer you do it, the greater benefits you will receive from it. Good. Good. And if you'd like to, you can even, while you're sitting here with your hands up or down or at prayer heart center, can take a moment, and you can continue the breath pattern too if it feels good, but to bring an intention into your heart or into your mind, maybe something that you're working toward, a goal. I always think of it as just the energy you want to create, how you want to feel when you step off of your mat, what you want to bring out into the world with you. So take a moment with your natural breath or with this box breath pattern, bringing something into your heart, into your mind. Good. If your hands are at prayer heart center, bringing them back down to the knees. Let's move the shoulders a little bit here. So let's match our breath with our movement. As you inhale, shoulders come to the ears. Exhale, roll them down the back. Nice and slow. One more time. Inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, roll them down the back. Let's do that twice, moving forward. So inhale, they come all the way up. Exhale, we roll them forward. Get a nice stretch in the upper back. One more time. Inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, roll them down. Good. Let's inhale, our arms come straight up overhead. Nice slow movement, nice big stretch. And on the exhale, we're going to take a little twist to the right. So right hand's going to plant behind you. Left hand grabs the outside of that right knee. My right hand behind me is right behind my sits bones. It's not far back. I'm tall through the spine. My left knee is still nice and wide. And it's a twist right from the core. Gaze off that right shoulder, whether the eyes are open or closed. Good. Settle in for one more breath. Good. Slowly releasing out of the twist, coming center. Let's bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Try to let the knees fall out wide. I always like to grab my feet here. Good. The closer your feet are to your body, the more intensely you'll feel this. The farther away, the less intense of the stretch. So find your perfect spot. Good. Try to open those knees like the pages of a book. And then if you want to, you can take a gentle fold forward. Make sure your spine is straight and tall. We don't want to curve that spine. And lead it with your heart, just a gentle fold forward. You might get the chest to the feet. You might only move a couple of inches. Either way, it's good. Feel a nice stretch in the outer hips. Good. Settle in for a couple of breaths. Maybe even closing the eyes. That feels okay for you. That really helps me keep my focus inward, not distracted by what I see around me. Good. Very slowly and with control, let's start to lift out of this. We're going to recross the legs, but whichever one you had in front, switch it this time. Good. Move around if you need to. Settle in. We're only here for a few more moments, then we'll switch it if you're feeling the itch to get out of this pose. Good. We're going to twist it to the other side. So inhale. Bring those arms all the way out, nice and wide, nice and slow. Good. And on the exhale breath, we twist. Left hand behind the sits bones, right hand to the outside of that left knee. Using that hand on the knee for some gentle leverage. Little twist. Make sure the right knee is not popping up. Good. You can close your eyes. Whether the eyes are open or closed, the gaze is in the direction off that left shoulder. See if you can twist just a little bit deeper from that core area for one more breath. Good. Gently release out of that. One more time. Soles of the feet together to touch. See if it feels any different this second time as we revisit this pose. Good. Maybe you can get the feet a little bit closer to the body. Maybe get the knees a little bit wider. And as you take this gentle fold, if you choose this option, maybe you get the chest a little bit closer to the feet. Maybe not. Either way, it's all good. Just gently fold that chest forward. Make sure you're still breathing slowly and steadily. And then very gently and slowly, let's start to come out of this, coming back up. And we're just going to come over into our tabletop pose. So the easiest way for me is just to cross the knees, but however you want to get there, or I should say cross the ankles. However you want to get there, we're going to wind up on our hands and our knees in our tabletop pose. Good. Make sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Your knees are directly under your hips. And we're going to move through some cat-cows to warm up our spine. So when you're inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, maybe even tuck your toes. Oh, I got some pops and cracks. I don't know if you guys can hear that at home. Got to really bring that gaze upward. On the exhale, press through the palms, untuck your toes around your spine as your gaze comes inward. Take these really slowly and dramatically. Really get as deep into these poses as you can. Inhale, drop the belly. Good. Tilt the hips, lift the gaze, tuck the toes. Good. I don't know about you guys. If you do a lot of core work, you'll feel this stretching the abs right here. I feel it. Good. One more time. Exhale, press through the palms, around the spine, untuck the toes. Good. Nice stretch through the back there. Good. Come back, center. And let's extend the right leg to the back of the mat, toes to touch. Get a nice gentle calf stretch here. So pressing onto the ball of the foot, maybe some gentle movements. We don't want to rock too hard. We want to take it nice and easy to start. Good. And then let's lift that right leg hip height. So extend it behind you, feel the glute engage, flex that foot. And then we're going to open up the hip and warm that up by taking some circles with this right leg. So bringing the right knee to the right elbow. Oh, lots of cracking today. Extend it out long. Good, nice, big, slow circles. Good. This makes 3 for me in this direction. Once I extend it back out again, I'm going to stick with this leg, but I'm going to take my circles in the opposite direction. So bringing the knee almost in toward the chest first, and then out toward the elbow and back. And we'll make it 3 on this side as well. Good. Once you finish that third, tuck the toes back down. Bring the left hand planted center, left toes out like a kickstand, and we're going to bring that right arm up high to the sky, stacking shoulders, stacking hips. I'm going to turn, if you need a visual, into our modified side plank. You could stay right here, toes down, arms straight up, or you can even drop the right bicep over the right ear, get a nice long stretch from the fingertips to the toes. Maybe even invite the right leg up for a quick balance here, so you're on your left shin, knee, and your left hand. Maybe take some arm circles here, just like we did with the hip, just kind of lubricate and warm up those joints. Good. Wherever you are, think about evening out if you need to. Let's take one more breath. Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the right toes to the earth if they're not there. We're going to press through that left hand, arms come out to a T. This is our gate pose. We're taking a nice side body stretch here. So right hand down the right leg as the left bicep frames out the left ear this time. Walking the fingertips down the leg, feeling a nice stretch, really through the left arm, through that lat, maybe even into the obliques of the hip a little bit here. Go ahead and see if you can stretch a little bit deeper for one more. Good. Slowly coming back to center, meeting back in our tabletop pose. Let's take one cat-cow to just kind of neutralize the spine. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, tuck the toes. Exhale, press through the palms around the spine. Untuck your toes. Meet back in that neutral spine. Left toe step toward the back of the mat. Get that calf stretch. So putting gentle pressure on the ball of your foot. Maybe gently rocking forward and back. Maybe just pressing it back, whatever feels better for you. A little ankle mobility, a little calf stretch. And then we'll lift that left leg just hip height. My right toes are untucked. You can tuck them if it helps with your balance. That's a personal preference here. Just feel your glutes start to engage. Flex the left foot. And then we're going to get into some hip circles again. So we're going to start left knee to left elbow. Nice and big and slow circles. Kick it back out slowly. That's one. We'll do this 2 more times. Nice big hip circles. Once you finish your third, extend that leg out long, and then we're going to reverse the direction. Same leg, just bring it in first and then out to the side and kick it back. Good, we'll hit 3 circles in this direction too. That's 2 for me and 1 more. Good, once you're there, extend the leg, bring the toes back down to the earth, right foot out like a kickstand, right hand plant center. Left arm peels up high to the sky, our modified side plank. Good. From this angle, you can see how my shoulders and hips are stacked. That means one's on top of the other. And you have the same options here. Maybe lifting the left toes off, maybe dropping the left bicep over the ear. Good. Maybe if you did so on the first side, taking some circles with this left arm. Hopefully feeling the obliques and the core start to engage a little bit here. Good. Really feel like you're getting pulled in different directions with that left hand and that left foot. If you need to even out, go ahead and even out. And then we're going to drop the left toes if they're lifted. Press through that right hand to bring the top body up to a T. Left hand down the left leg, right bicep frames out the right ear. Side body stretch in our gate pose. Gently walking the left fingertips down the left leg. See if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Good. Don't hold your breath here for one more. Nice breath. And then slowly lifting the top body. Hands come back down to the mat. We're back in our tabletop. Let's take one more cat-cow again. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, tuck the toes. Exhale, press through the palms, spine rounds high to the sky, gaze comes inward. Back to our neutral tabletop, and keeping our hands and feet exactly as they are. Start to walk the hands forward as you lower the chest to the mat, finding a puppy pose. So hips are still high away from the heels, coming down to either your forehead, maybe your chin. You get a little bit of a bigger stretch, bigger arch there. If this doesn't feel good, you can come to your belly at any point. I don't know about you guys, I'm getting a huge stretch in my shoulders here as well. And then let's come all the way onto our belly. So straighten out your legs. Arms are going to come to a number 11 on your forearms to find our Sphinx pose. Good. Toes are untucked, legs are extended behind you, chest is lifted. Good. Really get those hip flexors connected to your mat and the length of your leg connected as well. Let's take a gaze off that right shoulder. Nice little neck stretch. Bring a bend into your right leg, and we're going to reach for the outer edge of the right foot. Okay, you might need to lift the right hip up a little bit to reach it. But once you're there, try to get that right hip flexor back to the mat, drawing the heel closer to your glute. Also getting a nice big stretch in this right shoulder and a little bit in this chest, this pectoral area, as the hand reaches back toward the foot. So you can draw the heel toward the glute. You can also push that foot into the hand to feel more of that shoulder stretch. Take one more breath. Good. Don't snap that leg. Very gently release it back. Come back to your Sphinx. Let's take a nice little back bend here. See how it feels. If it doesn't feel good, just release back to this point. But pressing through the palms, spread your fingertips. Let's straighten the arms. That'll get you a little bit deeper into your back bend. If this is hurting your lower back, widen your feet. You can kind of see it on my screen here. That takes a little pressure off the back. Good. Slowly release back to that Sphinx pose. Let's take our gaze off the left shoulder. Nice little neck stretch there. Good. Bring a bend into that left leg. Reaching for the outer edge of the left foot with your left hand. Again, we're getting this quad stretch here now. The four muscles in the front of the thigh, the quadriceps, as you draw your heel closer to your glute. And then again, even as you kick that foot into that left hand, not really kick, but kind of press it, I feel a nice big stretch here in my left shoulder, into my pec, my chest muscle a little bit. Trying to hit all the body parts today, trying to stretch all the muscles today. I don't know about you guys, I need it. All right, let's take one more breath here. And very gently again, let's release that. If you want to, this feels good. Let's try. Let's bend the knees. Let's just windshield wiper the legs side to side to kind of neutralize that lower back for just a moment. Good. And then we're going to come up. So press through the palms, bend the legs, coming into hero's pose. So in hero's pose, we are sitting glutes to heels, nice and tall through the chest. And we're going to get into the shoulders a little bit here. Good. Let's bring that right arm across the body. Hook it with the left, so elbow to elbow. Using that left arm to draw the right arm a little closer to the body. I like to keep my palms open. Gaze off that right shoulder. Now, if you really open the shoulders and you want to take this a little further, you can easily bring the palms together to touch for eagle arms. That's up to you. Good. Let's take one more breath here. Good. Let's release that and shake it out. Let's interlace our hands at our low back. Draw the double fist down. See if you can really open through the chest, shine your heart, open the pecs, the shoulders, maybe even lifting the glutes away from the heels so you can get a gentle back bend here too. Take any option or variation of this. If the interlaced hands is too much, you can bring your hands to your lower back. If they're interlaced, drawing that double fist down as you shine your heart, maybe even dropping the head back. My eyes are closed here so I don't get dizzy. Good. And then releasing that, coming back to our hero's pose. Release that, shake it out if you need to. This time, left arm's gonna come across the body, so palm facing the back. Right arm hooks it. We're kind of elbow to elbow here, using this right arm to get the left arm closer to the body. You'll feel the stretch in the shoulder. Maybe even turning the gaze off that left shoulder, getting a nice little neck stretch here. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Just make sure you're breathing into this nice big shoulder opener. Good, let's take one more breath. Good, and then release that. I wasn't going to do this a second time, but it felt pretty good. So let's do that little gentle back bend one more time. Interlace your hands at the low back. Good. If you can't fully interlace, sometimes I just reach for a finger, like I wrap my one hand around my fingers. Good, draw the shoulders open and down. Good. You can even lift the glutes away from the heels here. Give you more space to draw it down. Maybe even a gentle back bend. Dropping the head, lifting the chin, shining your heart. Good. Releasing out of that, shaking it out if you need to. Let's bring our hands down just to help with this transition. We're going to tuck our toes and we're going to start to lift the hands off of the mat. So our weight now is on the balls of our feet. I like to bring my hands to prayer to help. It's a little bit of a balancing act here. Feel those little muscles in your ankles start to activate. Good, and let's get into the quads a little bit. Let's really activate those just by lifting the sits bones away a little bit. On the toes. Good. We're gonna come to stand if this doesn't feel good, but if you're here with me, you'll really feel your quads engaging right now. And then very slowly and with control, let's start to come to stand as the heels lower. Good, inhale, arms come up overhead. Good. Hands through prayer heart center. Let's take a gentle fold forward. Nice and slow into our first forward fold. Ooh, our first hamstring work of the day. Good, so just take a few breaths, a few moments to hang heavy here. Close your eyes. Maybe you find some stillness. Maybe if you start to bend one knee at a time, see what feels better for you. It's going to allow you to get a little more comfortable here. Maybe some gentle sways side to side, but really make sure you're hanging heavy, letting gravity do the work. So relax your face, no wrinkles in the back of your neck. Just let the head hang heavy here. To help create a little space, let's take it halfway lift. So on your next inhale breath, come to a flat back, hands come to the shins, and your exhale will guide you back down into your forward fold. Again, taking a few moments here to find stillness or to find some gentle movement, whatever serves you best this morning. Good. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we start to rise to stand. Inhale, arms come out and overhead, nice and wide. Moving slowly today, right? Maybe a gentle back bend at the top. And let's part the hands, swan dive back into our forward fold, nice and slowly. Again, letting the head hang heavy. Opening up the back of the body. Let's plant our hands in front of our feet. And let's step back one leg at a time to our high plank pose. Good, let's hold it just to get the core to activate for just a couple of breaths. Then simultaneously, we're gonna lift the hips and lower the heels into downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet if you need to. Make sure your fingers are nice and spread. So thinking about lifting the hips as you lower the heels, melting your chest back towards your thighs. Your head, arms, back should all be in a straight line. Good, let's take a nice slow walk, one small step at a time to the top of our mat, meeting in that forward fold once more. Hopefully it feels a little bit more accessible or a little bit more comfortable since we've been here. I know for me it totally depends on the day. On your next inhale breath, come to that halfway lift to create some space. So flat back, shine your heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, nice slow rise to stand, upward salute. Again, bring those arms nice and wide. Feel that stretch through the back and the chest. Maybe a gentle back bend. Next exhale breath floats you back down into your forward fold. Plant the palms. Step back one leg at a time to your high plank pose. Good, then let's lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good, we only have one standing sequence today. We're gonna take it nice and slow though as we move through these standing postures. If you have any advancements, feel free to take them, but again, our goal is to kind of slow things down a little bit today. Mixing it up, right? All right, so we're gonna find our three-legged dog. So lift that right leg, doesn't matter how high it comes. Maybe it just comes an inch or two off the earth. Maybe it comes much higher. Point those right toes. See if you could still keep that left heel as close to the ground, maybe even coming up to the left tippy toes and then lowering. But if you want to, you can bend the knee, open the hip, move that leg around, whatever feels good for you. Don't worry about what's right or wrong. Don't worry about what anything looks like. Just worry about how it feels. Good. If you're bent, square off the hips. Right knee comes into the nose. High on the left toes. And then slowly and with control, we're going to step that right foot between the hands, finding a low lunge. Nice deep bend on the right leg, high on the left toes. You can bring your hands to blocks or to peace fingers, or you can hover them. Just make sure we're not resting the top body on that leg. Really engage the inner thighs, engage the core to help here. Good. Blocks have 3 heights too, guys, if you need them. Look at that. Bring the earth even closer to you. Nice stretch in that left hip flexor, nice activation in this right leg. Let's take one more breath. Good, and keeping the right foot as is, we're just gonna bump up that left foot, plant it on a 45. So your toes are facing the top left corner of your mat. And then fold. This is our pyramid pose. I have blocks right here again. Good. And again, you have those 3 levels. This is a great place for blocks. Letting the top body hang heavy. Really make sure your hips are square. So you're going to gently roll that left hip so it faces forward. Plug the right hip back. We're looking for straight legs, square hips, top body folded. Good. Next breath, let's take a nice inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Good. Maybe even walking the hands gently to the outer edge of the right foot. Just alter this stretch slightly. But again, trying to let the chest get closer to the thigh. That's where the magic happens with this hamstring stretch. If you're walk to the side, let's take one more full breath. Gently start to walk back center. We're going to bring a bend into that right leg. And we're going to cartwheel the arms open into a warrior 2. Right toes facing forward, left toes facing the side. Heel to heel alignment, nice deep bend in that right leg. Gazing off the right middle finger, arms are extended in opposite directions. Gazing off the right middle finger, core is sucked in, tailbone is tucked under. Good, and settle in for 2 full breaths. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, so you can get a little bit lower on that right leg. Inhale. Good. Exhale, let's straighten that right leg, get a little bit of relief. We're gonna bring it back for peaceful triangle. So gently start to lean forward, flip that right palm, and let's bring it back. Left hand down the left leg, right bicep framing out the right ear. Right hand now leaning toward the back of the room. See if you can walk those left fingertips down the leg a little further. Another option here is left arm wraps around the small of the back. See which option feels better for you. Let's take one more full breath here. But as we start to use the core to come out of this, bend that right leg, right forearm to the top of the thigh, left arm peels up overhead, stacked shoulders for our modified side angle. Good, make sure you have that nice deep bend. Use this forearm to make sure this right knee is forward or slightly to the right. We just don't want it to track inward here. Good, nice stretch on that left hip and inner thigh. Nice big strength move on that right leg. We're here for one more full breath. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Good. Planting the left hand inside of the right foot, spinning onto the ball of the left foot. Right arm peels up high to the sky. We're twisting in the opposite direction. Good. Easy twisted lunge. Gaze can be up at the right hand or down toward the left, whatever feels better for your neck. Good. One more breath. Let's lower that right hand. We're going to lower the right hand to the inside of the right foot and heel toe the right foot to the outer edge of the mat. So our hands and our right foot are in a straight line together. This is our lizard lunge. Take some gentle rocks back and forth off the left toes. And then since we're taking it down today, let's drop that left knee, untuck the left toes. Good. Now this might be a little less strenuous, but you get a little bit of a deeper stretch, I feel, with the knee lowered. So you can stay right here, depending on your own accessibility. You can come to the forearms. I like to come to the left forearm here. Right hand to the inner right knee to gently guide that hip open. Maybe even rolling onto the outer edge of that right foot. Good. It's our lizard. Taking a couple of breaths here, so kind of exploring this pose and seeing what variation feels good for you today. Couple more breaths. If you are lowered or you're not on your palms, thinking about coming back to the palms, coming back, the right foot connected to your mat, slowly one piece at a time, tucking the left toes. We'll be back in that lizard where we started. Right leg's gonna step back to meet the left for our plank pose. And then we're gonna lift the hips, lower the heels, downward facing dog. Good, taking just a moment before we get into our second side. Good, let's take a nice deep breath here, inhale. And exhale. Good, left leg lifts for three-legged dog. Again, doesn't matter how high it comes, just keep your hips square to start. Maybe even coming high on the ball, the right toes, and then lowering. And then if you did so on the first side, you can bend the knee, stack hips. Maybe move that leg around a little bit. Again, whatever feels good for you. Squaring off the hips. Left knee comes into the nose. Slowly and with control, we step the left foot between the hands, finding a low lunge. So again, checking our alignment, our base, we're on the ball of the right foot, left foot is completely connected. Okay, nice deep in that left leg. We want to try to get that 90 degree, that L shape. So it is a deep bend here, so maybe you need to bump your right toes back a little bit. You can stay connected with peace fingers to blocks. Just make sure you're not hovering, make sure you're not resting that body on the left leg. Make sure you can kind of engage everything to hover. Good. Let's take another deep breath here. Good, then we're going to bump up that right foot a little bit. Plant it on a 45 as we straighten both legs for pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. So hanging heavy over the left leg, straight legs, square hips. Square hips means that they're facing forward. I can already feel my right hip trying to open here. So I consciously have to roll the right hip forward, plug the left hip back. Good, as I fold. Letting the top body hang heavy over that left leg. Again, great place for blocks. Whichever height brings the earth to you where you'd like it to be. On your inhale breath, let's take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. If you did so on the first side, you have the option to walk the hands to the outside of the left foot. Still trying to keep the chest and face close to that leg. That's how to deepen that stretch. This little twist just kind of changes up exactly how we're hitting those hamstring muscles. So make sure your face is relaxed. Make sure you're breathing. Eyes can be closed if that's okay for you. Let's start to unwind out of this. And we're going to prepare for our warrior two. So deep bend in the left leg, right toes facing the side as we cartwheel our arms open into our warrior two. Big pose here, lots of stretch, lots of strength. Deep bend in that left leg, right toes facing the side. See if you can get a little lower here, gazing off your left middle finger. Just make sure your body's centered. You're not leaning forward or back. Nice and centered. Good. So if you get a little deeper for one more breath, you know we have a straight leg pose coming up next. Good. Straighten that left leg. You might need to bump up the right leg a little bit. Start to lean the top body forward. When you get as far as you can extend, flip your palm. Grab a little air on the way back. Finding our peaceful triangle. Right fingertips down the right leg. Left bicep frames out the left ear. Gently walking those fingertips down the leg or wrapping that right arm around the small of your back, whatever feels better. Nice big side body stretch. Let's take one more full breath. And simultaneously as we bend that left leg, left forearm comes to rest on it. Right arm peels up high to the sky, stacked shoulders. Nice deep bend in this left leg, using your forearm just to gently nudge it open to the side. We just don't want it to track in. Gaze can be up at the right hand or down toward the left foot. Got one more breath before we're going to twist it out. Good. Spin to the ball of the right foot as your right hand plants inside of your left foot. Left arm peels up high to the sky, stacking shoulders for easy twist. Good. Gaze can be up with the left hand again or down toward the right, whatever feels better on your neck. See if you can twist a little bit deeper from that core area. Good. One more full breath. Left hand lowers inside of the left foot, heel toe your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. So your both hands and your foot are in a straight line across toward the top of your mat. Maybe shimmy those right toes back to get a deeper stretch here in your lizard. Take a couple gentle rocks forward and back off the toes. Good. And then you have the option, to lower that knee, untuck the toes. You can stay right here on your palms. You can come to forearms if that's available. You can take any other variation you want. Try to kind of mirror what you did on the first side. You don't want to do something crazy on one side and not on the other unless you have some sort of injury preventing you from doing something, of course. The left hand for me to the inside of my left knee, rolling to the outer edge of the left foot. Using your body just to gently open, one part of the body to gently open another part. Good. Settling in for a few more breaths, whatever variation of this lizard you are in. Letting the hips slowly start to open. Trying to release some of the tension that we store and hold in that part of our body. Let's take one more full breath before we start to gently come out of our lizard. Good. So if you're not to the palms, coming to them, planting the sole of the left foot, tucking the right toes back to where we started in our lizard lunge. Good. Stepping back to plank. Good. Downward facing dog. Good. Shake out the head, pedal out the feet. Let's actually take a nice child's pose here. Guys, take a wide leg child's pose. Bring your knees to the outer edges of your mat, toes to touch in the back. And then let's extend the arms out in front, coming to our forehead. Good. Closing the eyes. Settling in here. Take a couple stretches here from this posture. Now you can stay right here if you want, but let's take a gentle walk over to the right corner of our mat, maybe even off your mat. Settle in. Getting a nice side body stretch. And if you want a little more, you can even bring that left hand on top of the right. Good. You're feeling this through the upper arm, through the side body. Trying to get that left glute still close to the heel here. Let's start to lift the head, gently walk the hands through center, coming over to the opposite side now. So either to the edge of your mat or even off your mat. Settling back to the forehead, closing the eyes. Side body stretch on the right side this time to that right arm. And knowing you have the option for just a little more to put that right hand on top of the left one. Stacking hands. Take one more breath. Let's start to walk the hands back center. We're going to take one more stretch here in our child's pose. Forehead still to the mat. I'm just lifted so you can hear me. Let's bring the hands to prayer heart center. And let's drop those prayer hands at the back of the neck. Nice shoulder and tricep stretch. And you can gently, maybe when you just get a couple millimeters or centimeters, walk those elbows forward. That will intensify this stretch here for you. Breathing to settle into the hips. Breathing to settle into the upper shoulder, back, and tricep area. Good. Let's take our final breath in this pose. And then let's release that. Good. We're going to start to come up, but we're still keeping things to the mat. We're going to come sit down and extend our legs out in front of us. Good. We're going to get into the hamstrings a little bit more, a little bit of twist work here. One of my favorite ways to end class. It looks more complicated than it is. Just listen carefully. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. On the exhale, gently fold forward. Maybe hands come to the shins, maybe they come to the feet. This is our folded staff pose. Nice stretch through the back and the hamstrings. And you can stay right here, but I'm going to offer you a little bit of a twisted variation. It's a small twist, but it feels nice. If you want to try that with me, take your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot. And simultaneously, you're going to lift the right foot off the mat as you peel that right hand toward the back, gazing off the right hand. I'm going to turn to the side if you need a visual for this. Good. Flex that foot, gazing off the right hand. See if you can use the hand on the foot just to twist a little bit deeper for our final breath here. You're not lifted very high. Kind of just chest height here. Good. And then very slowly, let's release that. Shake it out. Do that one more time to the other side. So inhale, arms out and overhead. Good. Exhale, breath floats us down. Maybe you stay here. If you want to take that nice little twist, if you did it on the first side, you should absolutely do it on the second. If you want to take it with me, right hand to the outer edge of the left foot. And as we lift that left heel off the mat, left hand goes toward the back of the room, gaze can follow. Gentle twist here in our lifted staff variation. can release out of it at any point if it doesn't serve you, but if you're here with me, let's take another slow, full, deep breath. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Good, releasing the twist, releasing the leg, maybe shaking it out if you need to. Good, I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see me, but we're just going to take a nice slow lower all the way to our backs. You can keep the legs straight, really engage the core, or you can even bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the floor. But either way, try to control this nice slow decline all the way onto our back. Good. A couple gentle stretches on our back before we close things out. Let me just check our time. I got a few minutes. Good. Let's bring that bend into the legs. Right ankle on top of the left knee. Open that knee up to the side. Good. And we're going to get into the hip and to our back and our glutes a little bit here. So you can stay here if you want. But if you want to take this bridge variation by pressing through the left heel, lifting the hips, you get a nice gentle back bend and hip opener at the same time. Good. See if you can lift it a little higher for one more breath. And then gently lower. Good, uncross. Let's drop the knees side to side. Okay, coming back center, left ankle on right knee. Really try to open that left knee. I like to bring my palm to the knee just to get it open. To bring that heel a little closer to the glute. And you know, you can stay here for this gentle, more restorative hip stretch. Or if you want to come into that bridge variation, that kind of high bridge stretch, pressing through the right heel, this time lifting the hips, still trying to keep that left knee open as far to the side as you can. Good, one more breath so you can get a little higher. And then gently releasing, uncrossing the legs, drop the knees side to side. Let's actually take a little bit of a deeper spinal twist. Hug the knees into the chest. And then keeping the legs together, releasing the hand grip. Let's drop both knees over to the right, right hand to the outer edge of the left knee. Left arm extends out wide to the side, gaze follows as you settle into this spinal twist. Your eyes can be closed even if you're gazing off toward the left. So bringing down our practice. Take another breath. See if you can twist a little deeper with every exhale. Good. If you have that hand grip, release the right arm out to the side using the core. Bringing the knees through center. Dropping the knees over to the left. Left hand to the outer edge of the right knee. This time gaze comes off the right arm. As you use that left hand just to gently guide you a little bit deeper into this spinal twist. But again, twisting a little deeper just from the core each time you exhale. Taking just a few more breaths here. Make sure your right shoulder is not popping up. If it is, back off of the twist. So let's release out of this. Let's hug the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze, maybe curling up into a little ball. And then let's release everything out long, preparing for your final resting pose, Shavasana. So if there's anything you need to do before you really settle in here, maybe you want to dim your lights, turn off your music, change your song, grab a sip of water, whatever it is, go ahead and do that. And then meet right back here in Shavasana. Letting your body take up whatever shape it wants to, whatever's comfortable, with the goal in mind of trying to find stillness for just a few minutes out of your entire day. Let's take a nice deep lion's breath to help settle in here. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up, hold it at the top, and open mouth, release it, let it all go. Good, settle in. Closing the eyes. Taking a quick scan of how you're feeling. Keeping the breath slow and steady here. Creating the time and space for some stillness. Believe me, I know it's not easy. For many of us, stillness is a challenge. Slowing down is a challenge. It's such an important thing to do, even if you need to force yourself to do it. So Shavasana is our corpse pose, trying to find as much stillness in the body as we can. And the thought is, if we can find this stillness in the body, we can find some calm or quiet in the mind. So as you're here, if you find that unwanted thoughts start to appear, that's normal. Don't judge it. Honor it, acknowledge it. Just try to pass those thoughts along their way. Visualize them moving on somewhere else. They'll be there later. And just coming back to your intention, maybe just coming back to your breath. Noticing that you're breathing in. Noticing that you're breathing out. Noticing how you feel. And try not to think about this as you're doing nothing. You're doing something. You're doing a very important something. How often are you told to just be? Just find stillness. I don't know about you, but it never happens for me unless I'm in this space. So taking just a few more moments in stillness and silence. And if your day will allow you to stay here longer, you can mute me, turn me off, and just continue to rest and find this calm and peace and center. If you are ready to come out of this, you can start by wiggling your fingers and your toes, just inviting some gentle movements into the body without disturbing the peace that you just created. Maybe gently rock the head side to side. Let's zip the legs together, point the toes, extend the arms overhead. If you don't have space to reach overhead, you can reach for opposite elbows. Suck that belly in. Good. Point the toes and feel a really nice long line of energy all the way from your fingertips to your toes. Good. Hugging the knees into the chest. One final time. And then rolling over onto your right side when you're ready, finding the position of rebirth and renewal after our corpse pose. Excuse me. Using your left hand for a little support, just gently guide yourself back into a seated position where we started. Back into our easy seat. Again, palms can face up or down, or a prayer at center, whatever resonates with you. Nice and tall through the spine. Close the eyes. Take nice 2 breaths together to end class. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Good. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. All right. Thank you guys so much. Hope everyone is feeling really good. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day.